Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the all-new 2024 Chevy Silverado HD. Chevy has finally officially released it right before Ford is officially releasing their new Super Duty. Coincidence? I think not. But anyways, before getting into the video, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this 2024 Chevy Silverado HD, and I'm honestly surprised that Chevy just came out of nowhere and announced this, because I thought that they were at least going to wait for Ford to officially announce their truck because they wanted to make sure that they would beat Ford's torque figures. But with the figures that we got with this truck, I understand now why they announced it before Ford is announcing theirs, because they're trying to get at least some hype behind their truck, because well, at this point, they know that Ford's going to come through and just absolutely decimate them. You guys will understand once I explain this. But anyways, let's get into these specs that we know so far. So just like the half-ton, this is getting a facelift on the exterior. So the front end looks slightly different. And you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. I actually think that it looks pretty cool. Now, it's not quite as aggressive as the first version of the new Silverado HD that was released for the 2020 model year, but I still think that it's actually a pretty good looking truck on the exterior, all things considered. The taillights are slightly different as well. Again, just like the half-ton, you know, basically just revised exterior looks that are not like fully changed, but you know, they're changed enough that it does look different. Now, also, just like the half-ton, it gets a completely new interior, and it's identical to the interior on the half-ton. So base model packages on this new HD will not get the new interior. So like the WT trim, for example, the work truck trim, will not have the new interior. It'll still have the old interior. But if you get LT and above, then you will get the new interior with the bigger infotainment screen, and then also with the digital gauge cluster that, again, is in the Silverado 1500. So new seats, you got the double stack armrests, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of because it just looks funny. And so yeah, I think that that's great, and this will really help out with making the new Silverado HD feel a lot more modern. But what this does mean is that the Silverado HD will suffer from some of the, you know, I guess downfalls of the new half-ton. The first thing is, with the Silverado, there really isn't like a full-on luxury version of the truck. And I know that some people say, well, Ben, it's the High Country. The High Country is very nice. Like, I love the interior on the High Country. It's really cool. But it's not quite on the level of F-150 Limited and Ram 1500 Limited. And so you're still going to have to go to the GMC brand, which they haven't officially released their HD yet. But you will have to go to the GMC brand if you really want like a full-blown luxury truck interior. That being said, though, again, this interior is a huge improvement over what we currently have with the HD trucks. Now, the big headline news is two things. So first off, the 6.6-liter gas V8 that I thought was going to get tuned to have more power isn't getting tuned to have more power, but it is getting paired with the 10-speed Allison transmission that is currently paired to the diesel. And what this does is it basically makes it so that trucks equipped with the gas V8 will have a slightly higher gross vehicle weight rating, because the gearing apparently makes it so that it's able to be at a better place in the power band and just tow better. And so basically makes it so the engine's going to be a little bit more efficient from a fuel economy standpoint, and it's going to tow better overall. Now, moving from that to the Duramax, which is what you guys are all probably waiting for, 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. So yeah, this is why Chevy is announcing this truck now rather than later, because we all know that Ford's new Super Duty is going to come out with some crazy torque figure that's going to be way more than this, because the current Super Duty already has 1,050 pound-feet of torque, and the current Ram Cummins has 1,075 pound-feet of torque. And so, yeah, if this is what, you know, Chevy had planned all along, then it's good that they're officially announcing this sooner rather than later, because, you know, if Ford had announced their truck and then Ram announced something with theirs and then Chevy came out with this, people would, yeah, they'd probably make fun of it. But people are probably already going to make fun of it. But here's the deal, is even though this doesn't have the crazy like headline torque figures that Ram and Ford have, towing capacity is identical to those trucks, like max towing capacity. So you don't really need the crazy torque figures that those trucks have to be able to tow really well. And I think that GM is actually being really intelligent with what they're doing with this Duramax powertrain, because yeah, they want to make it so that they're competitive from a towing capacity perspective, right? From just, you know, being a good truck perspective, right? But they also want to make sure this powertrain's really reliable. And when you chase headline torque figures, you do give up a little bit of reliability. I mean, just go look at the forums with what's been happening with the Power Stroke lately. I'm not saying it's unreliable, but, you know, some things have been happening. And so, you know, not going crazy with the horsepower and torque means that this Duramax is going to be the powertrain that a lot of people end up going to, because, again, the towing figures are the same, but the reliability is going to be a lot better because they're just not trying to go all crazy and all out. Now, the next thing is there is going to be a ZR2 version for the HD Silverado, which is really cool. In the half-ton, it gives us Multimatic shocks, front and rear lockers, slightly larger tires. It's basically a Trail Boss, but then, you know, beefed up, right? And then it has crazy sculpted bumpers to help out with approach angle and departure angle. And then it has like those exhaust tips that are tucked up underneath to help out departure angle as well. Now, for the Silverado ZR2, we don't have a whole lot of information yet. Chevy's basically just said that, hey, it's going to be out later in the year. That being said, though, we can make some assumptions. So with the AT4 that is already in the GMC trucks, and then with the Z71 packages in the Silverado, that gives the trucks Rancho shocks. And so that's basically, right, like the Trail Boss version for the current HD Silverado. And so will they throw Multimatic shocks with this ZR2 package? We don't really know. A lot of the spy shots on the Silverado ZR2s that are out testing don't show Multimatic branded shocks, and so maybe they're going to go for something else. But just be sure it will have different shocks than what the regular Silverado HD has, so it won't have those Rancho shocks. It will have beefier tires. I'm guessing it's probably going to have like 35s. I think that would be pretty reasonable for it to have, and I think that would look really good with the truck. And we'll have a front locker. Probably. I don't think that it would have anything else other than a front locker, so it, you know, really will be a ZR2. Let's hope that they keep the Multimatic shocks, because those are really good shocks, but once I get more information on that, we'll kind of discuss that. And so overall, I think that this you know, heavy refresh is really solid with the new Silverado. Again, even though they aren't going for that crazy, you know, almost 1,100 pound-feet of torque like we thought they might do with the Duramax, these power figures are really strong. The towing capacity is really strong. Reliability is really strong. And so the new Silverado HD is actually shaping up to be a really solid truck. And so I want you guys to let me know what you think about the new Silverado HD, if you are all for it, or if you're going to wait for Ford to release their truck in a few days. And with that being said, I'll see all of you in the next video.